So hey guys, it is Jen here again, coming to you this time with a Smashbook layout process. And this is actually the first time I'm doing a Smashbook page. I had bought the Smashbook a long time ago and had every intention of using it, but I put it in a basket on my shelf and completely forgot that I owned it. So I was searching for something yesterday and I came across it and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to break that bad boy out and I'm going to use it. So I decided to scrapbook this picture of my husband. And this is right in the inside the back of our garage. And what had happened was I was looking for a card display to use at like craft fairs and such, to display my cards to sell them, and been looking for a card display for quite some time and kept passing this little like secondhand store and thinking about stopping in there to see if they'd have something like that, and kept putting it off, and he even offered for us to stop several times and I just didn't feel like it or whatever. And so the one day I got my hair done and I drive around the corner, and this little shop's on the corner, and I thought to myself, I should stop in there, but I didn't. And that same day, I came home and I pulled into the garage and I saw it sitting there. He wasn't there. He was watching me through the door of the garage on the other side. And so he totally surprised me with it. And he's always doing things like that. He's just so precious. And he had gone to that secondhand store, and sure enough, they had a card display. It wasn't for sale, but he talked the lady into selling it to him. So, yep. So now whenever I have a craft fair, it's so heavy too, and he takes it and he puts it, he has to take it apart to load it in the truck and put it back together, and he's a really, really wonderful person and just a phenomenal husband. So I am blessed. But here for the layout, I was just using some 6x6 papers that I had already cut up from doing a previous card, I'm sure. That's generally what I use my 6x6 pads for. So I wanted to use up some of these scraps, and this was the perfect opportunity. So I'm just cutting a little banner tail here on this piece, just basically leaving it, the size that it already was, and just making it a little more interesting with that little banner edge. And I use that little sanding block because sometimes my paper cutter will leave sort of the white fibers of the paper, and it's because I need to change the blade, but I'm so cheap that I'll just sand off the little white fibers until it gets to the point where I feel like I need to actually change the blade. So just adhering that down here. I accidentally stuck it to my picture. Yeah. So looking here for another piece of paper, I think I want to layer it over top of the bottom of that because the edge of the card display is sort of dark, and I thought it would be a little more visually appealing if it had a piece of pattern paper over top of it near the bottom. So I'm just inking this up too, and I'm going to layer that on the bottom after I adhere the picture. I don't have the picture taped down yet. And I use this roll of tape. You can kind of see it there. It's acid free. The tape that I have in my ATG gun is not acid free. And I'm sure most of you, know or would guess the acid free tape is a lot more expensive than the general purpose. So I just buy the general purpose, and then I use this adhesive here on the roll anytime that's going to actually touch my picture, because to me the papers itself, I mean, they're acid free, and that's what's actually touching the paper, not the adhesive. So I'm fine with using the general purpose in most cases, and then like I said, anytime it's going to touch the actual picture, I use the acid free roll of tape that I have there, which I need to find another place to buy that because I was getting it from Scrapbuck, but they went out of business, I believe. So And I have two ATG guns. I could keep one for general purpose and one for acid free, but I like having the two guns filled with my general purpose because if one runs out, I have one on standby usually. So it doesn't take that long to refill it, but I hate having to stop what I'm doing to do something so, mundane as put a refill in my ATG gun. When I want to have fun, I want to have fun, and doing refills is not fun to me. So, what am I doing here? I had tried to zoom in here. Of course, now you can't really see what's happening fully, but I can't really see it because on the screen that I'm using, the little recording bar comes up and it like covers up the bottom of the screen. So I can tell I'm inking something. Oh, I must be inking that stamp that I'm going to be stamping on that green piece of paper that I put there. Now, here's where something goes terribly wrong. And I realize it before I stamp it, but I already have the stamp all, inked up, so I don't want to try taking it off. So the block was bumping up against the spiral bound part of the book, so it didn't stamp the edge. So I just moved the stamp down on the block, re-inked that edge, covered up the rest with a piece of paper, and lined it up, and it lined up perfectly, which is the beauty of a clear stamp. So you can't tell, and it just made it the tail end of it a little bit shorter, but I'm totally fine with that. And these little paper clips, they're kind of cheesy. They're so like flimsy, but I've been trying to use them here and there. I think I'm going to take, because I have like 3 different packs of them. There's this color and then a blue, and I think the other one's like a yellow or a gold. I'm going to take them all out of those packages and just put them in a dish so maybe I can use them. Because if I see them laying there, I'll use them more. This is one of the new dies that I got recently. It's the picture wheel die or whatever from Tim Holtz. And I just cut out a bunch of those before I got started with different colored cardstocks. And this, I wanted to use the black. I thought it would go well with the darkness that was in the picture. And this glue, it's so funny. Like, I like the glue, but it comes out like a teeny tiny bit, which is okay sometimes, but then you have to like squeeze the bottle really hard. It's old, and it's probably like glumpy in there or whatever, but you know how it is. It's there, it works, so why not use it, right? I'm trying to keep everything in the frame, but yeah, it's hard to do because I can't see what's in frame without standing up and looking through my iPad, so yeah. And the whole time I'm just like hoping and praying that the thing's still recording because I can't tell whether it is or it isn't. Because I sort of have it balanced on a ruler above my head while I'm scrapbooking. And yeah, but anyway. So that's the only sticker that I find that I wanted to use. So I cut out a portion of the video there because I was like flipping through all these sticker books and couldn't find anything else. I wanted to use some washi tape. I was trying to keep this really flat and not use too many things that would make it dimensional. With it being in this type of book, I didn't want it to be too bulky. So washi tape's a good embellishment or way to add a little something to the page without adding any bulk. And I did my journaling off screen because it took forever and I ruined one of the cards. I hate my handwriting, so whatever. But that just explains what happened and that he surprised me with it, so. I was thinking about using those and decided against it, sort of rummaging through my embellishments here. Decided to go with one of these craft photo corners here on the edge of this. They're the only ones I own. I don't have any other colors. Craft's my favorite anyway, so. And then I zoomed in and moved the view down here at the bottom so you could see what was happening because it was cut off originally. Just adding a few little flat embellishments here in the corner. And then I'm going to do a rub-on up here that says Beyond Fabulous. I don't use rub-ons enough, I don't think. I have a bunch of them and I just always forget to get them out, so I'm going to try to use more of them in the near future. And then that vellum paper was sort of lifting up, and so I thought, okay, well, I'll just use a photo corner to hold it down. Well, then, not thinking, okay, so I do that, and you can see right through it, which it's not terrible, but then I thought, okay, well, I can find like a label or something to put over top of that to cover it up. But when I do, you'll see that it doesn't look the best. It's not my favorite, but, you know, it is what it is. The placement of it is a little bit odd because it leaves like a space in between the label sticker and the paper below it, but whatever. I try not to get too worked up about things. I mean, it's supposed to be fun. If it's not fun, then I'm not doing it. So here are some close-up pictures of it. Thank you so much for watching. And please, like I said, let me know if you have any suggestions for me or criticisms. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.